These are the only three American-made ladder companies still manufacturing in America. And chances are, you've never heard of any of them. Because the two brands you actually know, Werner and Louisville, the ones sitting in nearly every garage and job site in the country, they don't make their ladders here anymore. They moved to Mexico. This is the story of how America lost an entire industry most people never even noticed was gone. And along the way, we'll meet a company that made the ping pong tables in Forrest Gump, one that builds ladders for Boeing 777 mechanics, and the last man standing in Wooster, Ohio, who refuses to quit. Start with Werner, because if you've ever climbed a ladder in the United States, odds are it was one of theirs. Richard D. Werner founded the company in 1922 in Pennsylvania, and it didn't even start as a ladder company. Werner's first product was a patented decorative metal trim called chrome trim, used for dressing up kitchen sinks and cabinets. When World War II broke out, Werner pivoted entirely, becoming a prime contractor for the U.S. Navy, manufacturing extruded plastic inhibitor strips for rockets. After the war, the company shifted to extruded aluminum products, and in 1954 invented the ALF Flow twist-proof rung joint, a breakthrough that solved the major safety and structural problems plaguing aluminum extension ladders. By 1963, they were pioneering fiberglass ladder production. Werner wasn't just making ladders, they were defining how ladders were made. For decades, Werner was a Pennsylvania company through and through. They built new headquarters in Greenville in 1970, held over 600 patents, and even had a mascot, a gorilla named Gunther, introduced in 1977 to symbolize strength and reliability. If you watched college basketball, you saw Werner ladders every March when the winning team climbed up to cut down the nets. Werner was as American as it got. Then the math changed. In 1997, Werner sold a majority stake to InvestCorp, an international investment group. By 2003, the company began closing U.S. plants. In 2006, crushed under a massive debt pile, Werner filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, and when the company emerged and was eventually acquired by private equity firm Triton Partners in 2017, the strategy became crystal clear. Stephen Richman, Werner's president and CEO, said it plainly. The strategic repositioning of Werner was well underway, and in the past few years, the company had moved significant production to Mexico and China in an effort to become, as he put it, the low-cost provider of climbing products. The low-cost provider. That was the goal now. In 2018 and 2019, Werner shuttered its plant in the Jeffersontown area of Louisville, Kentucky, laying off all 118 workers. The work transferred to Juarez, Mexico, where Werner now operates what it calls the world's largest and most advanced ladder manufacturing facility, a facility that benefits from Mexico's IMEX Maquiladora program, which allows manufacturers to import materials duty-free for assembly and export, making labor cost arbitrage across the border almost impossible to compete with. John Guyton, Werner's Director of Human Resources, was straightforward about the reasoning, saying the move was part of Werner's strategy to lower labor and manufacturing costs. The workers saw it differently. Phil DeMatteis, a former president of United Steelworkers Local 3713, put it simply, They're making a profit, and they want to make more of a profit. And it wasn't just Louisville. Werner's Sugar Grove Township operation was also shuttered, cutting nearly 500 jobs. The company had been closing American plants for over a decade. Today, Werner operates 18 manufacturing and distribution hubs worldwide with 5,000 employees, producing upward of 20,000 ladders daily and generating over $400 million in annual revenue. In 2024, they rebranded entirely as pro-driven global brands, and the Werner name became just one brand in a global portfolio that includes German manufacturer Zargus, which holds its own long European legacy and knowledge graph presence, and French companies Duarib and Centaure, and several others. Louisville Ladder's story is even more stark. Founded in 1946 in Louisville, Kentucky, the company carried its hometown name for decades. But through a series of mergers and acquisitions, it was gradually absorbed by Grupo Cuprum, a Mexican aluminum company founded in 1948 in Monterrey. Cuprum acquired Davidson Ladders in 1991. In 1998, they merged operations with Emerson Electric, the Fortune 500 manufacturing and technology conglomerate, to form the Louisville Ladder Group. That partnership with a company of Emerson Electric's scale gave the consolidation real momentum. By 2004, Grupo Cuprum owned 100% of the company, and by 2007, Louisville Ladder's principal place of business had officially moved to Monterrey, Mexico. According to Donald Gibson Jr., Louisville Ladder's vice president of engineering, all of the company's ladders, with the exception of steel products, are manufactured in Mexico. Louisville Ladder still has over 1,000 employees, but the ladders bearing a Kentucky city's name are built across the border by a company that has grown into the largest aluminum extruder in Latin America. So who's left? Who is actually still making ladders in America? 3 companies. That's it. First, there's Bauer Corporation, and their story is the most defiant of the 3. Bauer has been making ladders in Wooster, Ohio, since 1917, over a century ago. While Werner and Louisville chased cheaper labor south, Bauer doubled down on domestic production. Mark McConnell, Bauer's president, doesn't mince words. We are the last exclusively domestic ladder manufacturer in the country. Louisville Ladders moved to Mexico 10 years ago. Others who are based here still import a lot of their stuff from Mexico. And Bauer, he says, is the only one that's straight up US made. Over 99% of the materials Bauer uses are produced in North America. They invested $2.5 million in a new 55,000 square foot plant in Wooster. And here's something the big players can't say. They're the only manufacturer in the world that makes a 48-foot fiberglass ladder. Their strategy isn't to compete on price, it's to compete on quality, targeting professionals who care about ANSI duty ratings, Type IA and Type IAA classifications, the heavy-duty and extra heavy-duty ratings that OSHA-regulated worksites demand, and who need equipment that performs under demanding conditions every single day. Their market is professional cable, telecom, utility, and industrial users, the kind of buyers who know their American Ladder Institute standards and won't compromise on them. As Bauer states directly, our major competitors are making ladders in Mexico and Asia, and Bauer believes it's important to continue to be made in America, to employ Americans, and keep America strong. Second is Metallic Ladder, established in 1953 in Randolph, New York. They manufacture aerospace-grade aluminum ladders, stairs, commercial gangways, and work platforms, all 100% USA made in their Western New York factory. In October 2023, they introduced the Aero Ladder, a specialty aircraft maintenance ladder designed for mechanics working on planes like the Boeing 777. Metallic Ladder has been building aircraft maintenance ladders for over 60 years, and their products are niche, specialized, and built to last. Third is Cotterman, making ladders in America since 1925, with locations in Michigan, Georgia, Texas, and California, quietly maintaining domestic production for nearly a century. And then there's the company that didn't make it. Michigan Ladder Company was founded in 1901 in Ypsilanti, Michigan, making it the oldest ladder company in the country. 3 men from Ypsilanti struck a deal with the city. Employ 10 people within 5 years, and the city would give them the land. For 120 years, they kept that going. They even made the ping pong tables used in the movie Forrest Gump, tables shipped worldwide and used in the Olympics. But in spring 2021, Michigan Ladder, the last wooden ladder manufacturer in the United States, closed its doors for good. The pandemic was brutal, and supply chain issues delivered the final blow. Tom Harrison, the company's president and owner, said something that stays with you. "This is the kind of thing that will haunt me for the rest of my life. And what is it I could have done differently?" That question hangs over this entire industry. When the 2 biggest players leave, they don't just take their own jobs with them. They reshape the entire market, setting new price expectations that companies like Bauer and Metallic Ladder, companies building to ANSI and American Ladder Institute standards, companies that keep their OSHA compliance records clean and their factories domestic, fight against every single day. So the next time you're at the hardware store looking at a ladder with an American-sounding brand name, flip it over and check where it's made. Because there are only 3 companies left doing it here, and each one of them chose the harder path to stay.